Can you tee up some of the most impactful studies and how they worked and what you found?
There are a handful, one of which was the study that David Rudd and I did together, looking at brief cognitive behavioral therapy for suicide prevention. That's where we saw a 60% reduction in suicide attempts as compared to treatment as usual, which is basically just typical mental health care. So we were comparing, does BCBT outperform what a patient would otherwise receive, and we found it did. One of the things that we learned from that study, when we would do follow-up interviews with our patients and we would ask, what did you like about the treatment? Would you suggest we change anything? Should we do things differently? And overwhelmingly, what we were hearing was that the most helpful or the favorite part of the therapy was this thing that we did where we would write down their reasons for living on an index card. And we would have them carry this index card around with them and take it out like 3 times a day and just remind yourself sort of like what's good in life, what gives you purpose and meaning. And I was surprised how many of those patients 2 years after treatment would like pull the card out of their pocket and say, I still have the card and I read it every day. And so that was really where we got the idea of, man, there's something here with reasons for living. We may only have one shot. How do we put that at the beginning? And so that was where the CRP study came from. And we published the results of that in 2017, showing that crisis response planning significantly reduced suicide attempts as compared to treatment as usual, which typically includes a contract for safety. That's the old way of approaching this. I did not expect this 30-minute intervention to have any effect longer than a few weeks, but it went all the way to 6 months. It just kept getting better and better over time. And so that really shifted my thinking about what matters the most in suicide prevention. The metaphor that I use a lot with suicidal patients is the metaphor of lost keys. Because we hear a lot of people in crisis say, well, I don't have any reasons for living, or I can't remember, I don't have any anymore, I've lost them. And so I'll say, well, have you ever lost your keys? Most of us have. Well, how did you find them? Well, I retraced my steps. I went back to where I last had them. I asked for help to find them. And then I make the point of, well, the keys didn't cease to exist. You just didn't know where they were at. And then you found them. And so reasons for living often work the same way. Sometimes we lose them. We forget what they are, but you can ask for help. We can retrace your steps. We can go back to where you were in life the last time you had a sense of purpose and meaning. And so let's spend some time doing that together.